Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're listening to this message. There comes a point in life when you realize that all your efforts seem to make no difference. You try to show love, try to talk, explain, understand, and even insist a little more. But even so, the person you love still doesn't recognize your worth. When you realize that, despite everything you've done, you're not important to that person, perhaps it's time to make a difficult but necessary decision. It's time to leave the scene. Once I was talking to a friend, and he told me that his relationship had ended. Sadly, he said he was going to disappear for a while, vanish from her life so she could miss him. I said I understood his decision. Although it's a risky move, it's often one of the few that can truly bring some answers. There are times when the only remedy is precisely to step away. Sometimes it's necessary to leave the stage for a while so that the story can continue without your presence. Learning to be absent when everything has already been said, when everything has already been explained, and when insistence no longer makes sense. Controlling your own impulses is not easy at all. It seems simple when we talk about it, but in practice it's one of the hardest things to do. There's so much life happening out there, so many possibilities, so much joy waiting for us. Even so, we often insist on remaining attached to someone who has already left emotionally. While you waste time looking at the last time the person was online, waiting for a message, or trying to understand actions that are never explained, life goes on and many opportunities end up being left behind. Of course, it will hurt at first. The heart doesn't understand changes overnight. It takes time to accept that plans have changed and that the seasons of life also change. But with time, little by little, you learn something very important. You learn to be missed. Sometimes it's necessary to disappear a little. Not to play emotional games, but to value yourself. Leaving the map of those who always knew where to find you, but never bothered to be by your side. It's distancing yourself from those who received all your smiles and yet never knew how to appreciate them. From those who said no so many times and never realized how willing you were to say yes. It's leaving the scene of relationships that offered little affection and a lot of wear and tear. From those who rejected your affection so many times, while you continued to accept crumbs of attention. Learning to be missed also means distancing yourself from those who are full of doubts about you and were never sure of your worth. From those who didn't learn to walk beside you with respect, partnership, and kindness. Being missed means ceasing to be always available to those who got used to your presence, but are no longer happy when you arrive. It's allowing the person to perceive the emptiness that remains when you're no longer there. Being missed also means holding back the impulse to reach out, to send messages, to ask what happened, or to try to understand what no longer has an explanation. It's about stopping justifying actions that should never have happened. It's about not calling, not texting, and not searching for the person on every social media platform. It's about going out to breathe a little, meeting friends, walking in the park, occupying your mind, and rediscovering the value of your own company. It's about learning to find peace even in moments of silence. It's about praying for your heart to calm down, avoiding observing the other person's life through social media, and stopping doing things just to be noticed from a distance. It's about understanding that we don't always need to seem okay when we're still hurting. Sometimes it's about taking care of yourself. Changing something in your routine, renewing your spirit, allowing yourself to experience new moments. And above all, it's about learning to forget those who always seem to forget about you. I hope that friend of mine can truly distance themselves for a while. That in that silence they discover whether or not their presence was missed. Because sometimes it's precisely when we distance ourselves that the answers appear. Disappearing can be a risky strategy, it's true. But it can also reveal many hidden truths. The answers won't always be what we expect, but even so, they set us free. They bring clarity, help us move forward with more certainty and, above all, with much more self-love. God bless you. Amen.